Hi, and welcome to SlideForm. Today, let's talk about generating slides in bulk mode, which means you can generate a whole batch of slides or an entire batch of presentations in one go. So for example, today I'm going to take a rental property manager's perspective, and we're going to generate a bunch of slides with one slide for each of the different properties in my portfolio. And for each of those different properties, I'm going to have an image like this. I'm going to have a bunch of metrics having to do with the revenue, bookings, and guest experience. And I'm going to generate as many of these slides as I need for every single one of the properties in my portfolio. Now, the way that we set this up is we actually use a Google Sheet. So I'm going to jump over to the Google Sheet, and you'll see that this starts to make a lot of sense. We have our properties arrayed in the first column, and then next to that, we have all of the different metrics laid out, and we also have our images that are inserted into each cell. So once you have a Google Sheet like this set up with the data that you're interested in, it could be text, numbers, or images as I've shown. Now we can import this into slide form and start generating all of the slides we need all at once. So let's take a look at slide form. In your SlideForm account, you'll have different cards for different projects that you're working on. Each card corresponds to a slide deck template. Then you'll also have data sources set up, including perhaps the data source for your Google Sheet or Excel that contains the data for this particular job that you're going to run. Now, click into this project and I'll show you how it's set up. The first thing you need for your project is a template. So we set up a slide deck template like this. We can access it here with this blue link, or I already have it open up here. So here's the template. You can see that we have 4 slides in this template. We have a title slide with a couple of different placeholders on it, including the logo and the year. And then we also have a slide with no placeholders. It's just going to be shown at the beginning of the slide deck. And then we have our slide, which is going to be replicated for every single one of the properties. Now, to insert a placeholder that's going to be filled in from the Google Sheet, all you have to do is create a placeholder with text enclosed in curly braces. If the input is text or numbers, like in these cases, that's all you need to do. If you would like to place an image, what you need to do is create a shape, which is inserted in the Google Slide interface like this, or in PowerPoint, create a shape object. And then inside of your shape object, you click into it and type the placeholder. That needs to start with the word image, colon, and then the name. And that's all you have to do to insert an image. Like this is going to be the property image, and this one is going to be my company logo. And finally, we have another slide which just includes an image and then the manager name and phone. So that will be filled in as well. The only slide that's going to be replicated out of this deck is slide number 3, which will be repeated as many times as we need it to. So once you have a template like this set up, you set up all of the different fonts and colors and layout that you want to see in your result. You share that with SlideForm, and then you copy the URL here at the top and go ahead and insert that into SlideForm to define your template. That's what I've done in this case. And then when you scroll down, you're going to be able to see a blue box for every single one of the placeholders in your template. So here's where you match up any of the pragmas or placeholders that are not found in your Google Sheet. So my image for the logo is not found in the Google Sheet, so I'm just going to hard code that here to be my Smoky Mountain logo. And then, for example, the year is going to come from the Google Sheet. It's here in column B, so I don't need to set up any mapping or preset of value for that. So you go through all of these pragmas, whether they are going to come from the Google Sheet or like, let's take a look at the manager name. If I'm just going to type in that name and have it be the same on all the times I generate this presentation, I would do that here. So then you go ahead and just save your presentation template, and we'll go into bulk mode to generate the output. So clicking into bulk mode now, we have the option to choose whether we want all of our output to be grouped into one presentation or whether we want our output to be in separate presentations. So for this example, let's take a look at what we're going for here. We would like slide 3 to be replicated for each of the properties. So I will choose single presentation. If I wanted a separate slide deck for each of the properties, then I can leave this toggle off. Now we put in our Google Sheet that is going to drive all the data. And to do that, you need to make sure to share this with SlideForm, and then also you can copy the URL and paste it in. Now SlideForm is going to read through that Google Sheet and identify all the columns that we can use to fill in your data. All right, so it's read in the bulk file, and now we can select the sheet that we want to use. That's already pre-selected here. And we can also filter the data. So in my sheet, you might see that we have a column for year, and I can select between, it looks like we have 2022 and 2023. So I'd like to just do a report for the year 2023. So I can click Add, scroll down inside of this box to year, and then we can select the value that we want. And only the year 2023 rows from the sheet will be used in this presentation. Then we do the data mapping. So we map each spreadsheet column over to the pragma or placeholder in the template. So we'll notice that we've already mapped most of these. Some of them are not going to be mapped to a pragma because those columns are not going to be used in this presentation. And then we can set the format type for any of these that need to be typed. And we do that so that we can round them off or maybe add decimal places in the output. Now here's where the really cool stuff starts. We can actually specify where we want the repeating to occur. So for my template, let's take a look. It's actually slide 3 only that's going to be replicated for each of the properties. So let's go back and input here. We want to start on slide 3 and end on slide 3. That means slides 1 and 2 will not be repeated, and slide 4 will not be repeated. Finally, the last option is to specify within your Google Sheet which row is the header and where you want to start and end. But since I've already filtered the data to just the year 2023, I don't need to enter these. Only if I wanted to further refine which rows were used would I put these in. So now I want to submit this. I'll create presentations, and we can wait just a minute or two to see those results appear on the all downloads on the main page in SlideForm. Okay, so our output is available here under all downloads. Let's click into it and we will be able to see the output that was generated. So here's the presentation. The logo image and the year are filled in on slide 1. Slide 2 looks good. And now we start the repeating section where we've created one slide for every one of the properties that were from the year 2023 in my Google Sheet. And then the last slide is also filled in, but it's not replicated. So this is perfect. Now, this is just a regular Google slide deck, so you could share it with someone right here. You could make a copy, or you can just type in it and make changes to it as you see fit. And all of those will act just like a normal Google slide deck. So I hope the SlideForm has been informative and helpful to you. If you really want to use this tool, you can have a free trial. Just come on over to slideform.co and sign up. Thanks.